Have you ever been in one of those political arguments where it feels like you and the other person are just speaking completely different languages? It's so frustrating, right? And it feels so personal. Well, let's get into this because it turns out there's a huge psychological reason why we're all so divided. And, understanding it might just be the key to actually talking to each other again.
So check this out. What's really wild is that our disagreements on the actual issues, they haven't changed all that much. What has changed, what has absolutely skyrocketed, is the emotional side of it. It's not that we just disagree with the other side anymore. It's that we genuinely dislike them. We see them as bad people.
And that leads us to the big question, doesn't it? Why? Why does a simple debate about something like taxes or healthcare feel like a direct attack on our character, on our very identity? Well, the answer is hiding in something we almost never think about, the hidden architecture of our morality.
Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we have to start with a really fundamental question. What actually is morality? The answer might be a lot bigger than you think.
You see, for a long time, we've had this really narrow view of morality. We tend to think it's just about harm and rights and fairness. But a much broader, more functional view says that a moral system is anything that helps a group of people stick together and cooperate. And right there, that's our first clue. We might not even be working from the same dictionary when we talk about what it means to be a good person.
And this is where a really powerful idea called moral foundations theory comes into play. It says our moral judgments aren't always these slow, logical decisions. Nope. A lot of the time, they're just gut feelings. These super fast, automatic intuitions that pop up when we see something we feel is right or wrong.
So moral foundations theory says that our morality is built on a few universal foundations. Think of them like taste buds. Everyone has receptors for sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savory. But different cultures and different people combine those tastes to create totally unique kinds of food. Morality works the same way. So let's look at what these moral taste buds are.
First up, we've got care/harm. This one's pretty intuitive. It's that pang of compassion you feel when you see someone suffering. It's what makes us want to protect the vulnerable. It's a really ancient impulse.
Next is fairness/cheating. Now, this isn't just about pure equality, like everyone getting the same exact thing. It's more about proportionality, the idea that rewards should match the effort. It's what makes us so angry when we see someone cheating the system or getting away with something they don't deserve.
Then there's loyalty/betrayal. This is the foundation of team spirit, of patriotism, of that feeling that you'll do anything for your group. It binds us together into teams that can accomplish amazing things, but it's also what makes us feel such contempt for traitors or people who betray the group.
The fourth foundation is authority/subversion. This one is all about respecting traditions, institutions, and the leaders who maintain social order. It's based on the idea that stable hierarchies and a little bit of deference are crucial for a society to function smoothly.
And finally, we have purity/sanctity. This one's a little different. It's rooted in the emotion of disgust, which originally evolved to help us avoid poisons and diseases. But over time, it got applied to social and religious ideas, things like holiness, nobility, and treating your body like a temple.
Okay, so we've got these 5 foundations. So what? Well, this is the moment where it all clicks. This is the big reveal. Research shows, again and again, that people who identify as liberal tend to build their entire moral world almost exclusively on 2 of those foundations, care and fairness. Conservatives, on the other hand, tend to use all 5 foundations more or less equally. Now, this is so important. This doesn't mean one side is more moral than the other. It means they are speaking different moral languages. A liberal hears a conservative talking about loyalty or tradition, and it just doesn't register as a top-tier moral concern. Meanwhile, a conservative hears a liberal focusing only on care and fairness, and it can sound like they're ignoring the foundations of a stable society. We are literally talking past each other.
So, if we know we're using different moral dictionaries, what can we actually do about it? How does this help us in the real world, in a real conversation? Well, one key technique is something called lensing. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses. It means you stop listening for what's wrong with their argument, and you start listening for which moral foundations they're using. Once you hear it, you can frame your questions to actually connect with their values, not just your own. The goal shifts from winning to understanding.
Let's try it out. Here's a real quote from a conservative politician, Janice McGeetson.
Now, if you put on those moral foundations lenses, what do you see? She's not just making a political statement. She's pushing a bunch of moral buttons. She's hitting fairness, saying it's not right how the media treats her. She hits liberty,
asserting her right to assemble. And then, bam, the big one, loyalty, fighting for the soul of the nation. That is pure patriotism.
So instead of arguing with her from a place of care, saying she's harming people, imagine asking a question like this. Look what it does. It takes her own value, loyalty, and asks her to apply it consistently. It's not an attack. It's an invitation to have a real conversation, using a language she understands and values. It completely changes the dynamic.
Okay, that's incredibly powerful for a one-on-one talk, but let's be real. This is a massive, society-wide problem. How can we possibly bridge a gap this big?
Well, there's a really promising idea out there called vicarious contact. It sounds kind of academic, but the idea is actually super simple and pretty hopeful. It means you don't even have to have these tough conversations yourself. Just seeing someone from your own side have a respectful, positive conversation with someone from the other side can actually lower your own animosity.
And this isn't just some nice theory. They've tested it. A big study out of Cambridge had people watch a 50-minute film of Democrats and Republicans going through a depolarization workshop together. And what happened? Just by watching it, people's hatred for the other side went down and their respect went up, significantly.
And here's why this is such a potential game changer: scale. Just look at the math. For the same cost it takes to run an in-person workshop for 32,000 people, you could get a film in front of over 113,000 people and get a similar depolarizing effect. That is how you start to make a real dent in a problem this big.
When you boil it all down, the takeaway is pretty clear. Our problem isn't just about politics anymore. It's psychological. It's about our gut feelings, our intuitions, our moral programming. And that means the solutions have to be psychological too.
So for maybe the first time ever, we have a kind of Rosetta Stone. We have a way to translate between these different moral languages. The code isn't a secret anymore. The only question is, what are we going to do with the translation?